So what are the sort of the building blocks that are in place for this website then, in terms of, you know, an analysis of key phrases for a start, and you know, kind of competition? I know this has been quite a frustrating part for you, really, hasn't it?
Well, I suppose a voyage of discovery, but one of the things which I was very unclear about was how to define the appropriate key phrases for my business.
Yeah.
It's certainly possible to use the keyword generators and come up with huge lists of which words might be relevant, but actually trying to funnel that down has been rather frustrating. Not least the fact because not all the tools seem to work consistently or give consistent results. But what I've done using the competitor analysis has been to explore for different keywords, different competitors which would be in competition with either directly or indirectly, and through that actually exposed the pros and cons of their own websites, and that in itself has been a very useful exercise for me, because it's something which I can use with clients as well to help them understand how they can improve their websites, where their competitors are.
So what sort of thing has that exposed then? Because I always find this an interesting part, because you're putting numbers on something that is actually quite hard to kind of understand. So this kind of comparing two websites is quite a nice thing to do, like you say, with clients.
Yes.
Were there some great performing websites, or do they look beatable? Or?
Well, I've got a selection of two here, and the one on the left certainly has filled out the keyword tags, whereas the one on the right hasn't really done, which may help to some extent in search, but certainly looking at it even from the limited knowledge I have, I can see that in terms of search engine optimization, then the one on the left can do an awful lot more, as indeed so can one on the right, but for slightly different reasons. For example, the one on the left is only showing keyword density on the home page of about 2%, and that's only on the actual name of the company rather than any particular keywords.
Right.
Whereas the one on the right is showing quite well. It's got marketing at 7%, so that's pretty strong.
So the one that's actually one of them that's performing pretty well with is that a position of 4?
Position of 4.
It doesn't even have a mention of healthcare marketing in the density.
In the keywords, correct.
Wow. So highly beatable. You know, I mean, there's obviously more going on, but if in terms of look at inbound links, how did these two perform on inbound links? There was a bit of a difference, wasn't there?
This one here has no inbound links coming up at all. The one on the right does, but that's because it has a web design service, and it's linked the clients it's designed for back into it. So I guess that's helping. Not least the fact that it comes up with a Google page rank of 5, which just seems very, very high.
Which will probably have a lot to do with this linkage, really.
Yes.
I mean, just as a word of advice, Google, for arbitrary reasons, doesn't give you the full number of links. So if it says 13 here, actually most people say Google will only give you around 15%, if you want to put me a number on it, of the total links that it can actually see. So it's actually probably higher than that, but a 0 is kind of quite worrying for this one.
And relatively, it's
I mean, this looks pretty beatable, doesn't it? I mean, 2004 is not a hugely old domain. The age is an issue, isn't it? But no inbound links, no density of the actual key phrase, the actual content on it. So in terms of on page, it's not actually too good, really, is it? In terms of off page, it's pretty appalling with no inbounds.
Correct.
So that as a key phrase, healthcare, do you think it's achievable?
I think it's possible to beat that. What this site does have is quite a lot of other content on other pages.
Right.
So obviously, they need to run the same sort of tools on other pages.
And the depth of it, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I think that's the thing. Using any of these tools, you can always do more. And the big question is when to stop and step back a bit. But anyway, I find this a useful exercise comparing two sites, and it's certainly one which helps me as a business and will help.
Should help you have those conversations.
Other clients too.
Tell me about kind of pay-per-click then, because you've got a traffic estimation of between 300 and 200,000 here. Yes,
well, I'm not really sure how reliable that traffic estimation is, because of the Yahoo tool which you suggested doesn't really seem to work most of the time, and trying to triangulate the results from other sources doesn't seem to work either. So it does seem to appear that PPC is a bit of a trip into the unknown, and I'm left with the conclusion that you can do a certain amount of analysis, but ultimately, decide whether it's right for your business
and give it a go.
What your your average order value might be. And just see whether it's worth trialing. And really, that's the only way to put it, with a limited budget, which is affordable, versus whatever else offline you can use.
Absolutely. I mean, your figures down here, when you actually follow it through, cost per inquiry. If you could make the phone ring with a warm lead for 50 quid, would you accept that as business?
That's reasonable.
Yeah. Because it's probably quite a high value item that you're.
It is, although
selling, isn't it?
The issue with all of this is the assumptions it's based on. So we've based it on a 1% click through, and clearly, if that could just be very much different. Yeah,
I mean, there's a whole series of assumptions, like you say, that we've assumed that we have to assume a heck of a lot until you've actually trialled it, and then so it's something that I'm saying to people. Look, I think most people understand where pay-per-click is going. The costs going up and so on, but it's worth a go. It's worth a go. It's worth a go to throw some traffic at the site, really, I think.
I think so, and one of the other things that came out from this exercise was just that one very simple change, so taking healthcare, and whether you type it in as all one word or two words, can make a big difference in the amount of traffic you're going to get. So health space care comes out at only a 12th of the total number of clicks that healthcare...
And they might suggest different user behaviour and backgrounds according to whether it's one word and two word. And
It could do, and I think this is where, obviously, individually, you can generate experience of, in terms of how relevant PPC is, but also where cross-access community, where if people were prepared to share the results of their pay-per-click campaigns, and so that some benchmarks could
we could understand. I think that's a great idea.
Very useful.
We will definitely sort of pick that up as a theme for one of the evenings. I think maybe next time or the time after. Maybe we'll do it before the summer. I think. Take me through your action plan then, of kind of where you go from here then.
Okay, well, where I go from here, with working with other clients is using the tools. As far as myself is concerned, it's still looking at some of the other competitors to see what they're doing, trying to learn from that. Some of the better things they've done, so the search results, and particularly getting into content, and particularly what it is that I can put down, be it in the first person or otherwise. Identifying the relevant keywords and phrases, I think I have made some progress on, and that needs a bit of tidying up. I do take on the point of long tail, and need to consider that in a bit more detail yet as to how relevant it is. I think slightly different from my business, because really I'm not selling a service online. I'm using it to describe my business or promote my business and generate leads, and I think that does make a difference there. But really, probably the biggest next step is actually preparing some content for a website, and then working out how to work with to create something, and then promote it. Certainly trying to optimise as much as possible, and against other options such as a limited public relations campaign, PPC might be worth a go with a very limited budget.